3 months ago, I opened an Etsy shop selling digital products, and today I'm breaking down exactly how much I made and what it took for me to get there. But before I get into that, because this is my first ever video in this brand new YouTube channel, I'd like to introduce myself. But if you want to skip ahead to the results, timestamps are in the description. But anyway, if you're still here, hi, my name is Jai. I've been a graphic designer for about 10 years now, and even though I have a full-time job, like a lot of creatives, I'm always open to side hustles where I can use my skills to bring in extra income. And I've tried quite a few. I've done contests on 99 Designs, created stock graphics for Adobe Stock, posted gigs on Fiverr, I've set up profiles on Upwork and Behance, and even tried to start my own design agency with a niche-based, personal branded approach on social media. But being the anxious introvert that I am, that burnt me out real quick. So for quite a while now, I've kinda accepted the fact that I might just be working a full-time job for the rest of my life, which is fine, totally nothing wrong with that. But I think there's always been an entrepreneurial spark in me that wanted to make something that I can call my own. And so a few months ago, a friend told me to look into selling digital products, and at first I was skeptical. I thought digital products were limited to two types. The first being stock images and graphics, which I already tried, and the second being long-form educational resources like courses, which I didn't think I had the expertise for. But I watched videos of people selling things like planners, wedding invitations, Excel sheets, and other kinds of templates and printables on Etsy. And people were actually making thousands of dollars doing it. So I was definitely intrigued and actually went down a rabbit hole of just watching videos of how people do this. And with that, I decided to open my own Etsy shop and start selling my own digital products. So for the first 2 weeks of July, I allocated some time for some prep work. Because I wanted to get this right the first time, I went into a lot of research. I had to learn the technicals of like how to open up the shop, how to package my products and put them up for sale, and as well as how to do Etsy specific SEO or search engine optimization so that people can actually find my products. Then I created my store's branding, and I also wanted to prepare at least 5 initial products so that my shop would have some inventory when people visited it. Then on mid-July, I officially opened up my Etsy store, but like an icon once said, what you wanna do isn't necessarily what you're gonna do. Like many Etsy YouTubers, I actually won't be sharing my shop name or my specific niche. I know it's super gatekeepy, right? So annoying. But I'm just starting out and I want to give myself the best chance of success this early on because I actually chose a somewhat saturated niche with an okay-ish amount of demand. So yeah, for now, I'll be keeping this to myself, and I also want to preserve my conversion rates. But I can show you my dashboard and show you the real numbers behind my shop. Now, going into my dashboard, I actually got my first sale about a week after I opened my store. So that was exciting. Then a few days passed, and despite putting up new listings every day, I wasn't getting any more sales after that. My second sale actually took 10 days after my first sale. And at the time, it was like, what's going on? This isn't as easy as YouTube makes it seem. So that was kind of discouraging. So overall, I only made 2 sales for July and made $10 in revenue. But for my actual profit, I actually ended up with a loss of about $23. If we go over to my monthly statement, it's in the negative. So that's about 1,300 Philippine pesos or 23 bucks in negative profit. Yeah, the first month I think is always the hardest. It took a lot of work to put up those initial listings. So I was posting about 1 to 3 new products per day only to get crickets. And by the end of July, I think I had about 50 listings in my shop. But I wasn't gonna give up. I told myself it's too soon to give up. All I could think about was how much I failed in the past with my previous side gigs, and I just had to make this work no matter what. Moving on to August, my shop started to gain traction, primarily due to one thing: Etsy ads. So for new shop owners, there is actually a 15-day waiting period before being able to start advertising on the platform. And I do believe in the saying that in order to make some money, you have to spend some money. So as soon as I was finally permitted to start running ads, I immediately turned them on with a budget of $5 per day. As you can see here, I've been starting to get a sale almost every day. And with most of my products being priced at about $5, of course, I was at a loss on the days where I didn't sell anything. But that was okay for me because in order for your products to rank, the algorithm has to gather data on your products based on your SEO or search engine optimization. And the fastest way to do that is through ads. Now, if we go over to my ads dashboard, you could see that a lot of my sales have been attributed to my ads. And towards the end of the month, I actually increased my ad spend to $10 a day. And this is when things started to take a turn. As you can see, there has been a spike in sales here towards the end of August, and 6 orders were made, which is the most I've gotten in the month. But for this month, my ad spend was still more than my revenue. So for the month of August, I had about 100 listings in total, which made 26 sales with a revenue of $161.63. But as for my actual profit, I was still actually not profitable. Again, I was at a loss of about $23 or $25. And now that's because most of my revenue was eaten up by the advertising costs and, of course, the additional SEO fees. Things started to take a positive turn once I started to increase my ads budget. And on the month of September, I was getting daily sales. All that hard work was finally starting to pay off. I was still consistently listing 1 to 3 products per day, but now it felt like I was actually selling what I was making. And on good days, I got 4 or 5 orders, and my peak days had 7 sales for that day. I also noticed a pattern where I got more sales on weekdays than weekends, which makes sense since I'm selling business templates. And yeah, I get it. People don't want to think about their business on weekends. Totally valid. Wish I could say the same. But for the month of September, I got a total of 90 orders, which is triple of what I made in the first 2 months. So that totaled a revenue of $768.56. But taking a quick look at my ads dashboard for this month, finally there is more revenue than ad spend, and 54 orders were made through ads. So that's more than half of my organic sales, but that's totally fine. So now for my net profit, I've made about 17,000 pesos, which is about $300 converted. September is also when I reached my first 100 sales. And honestly, I don't know why people make a big fuss about it. I thought it would cause my sales to explode or solidify my SEO search rankings. But I didn't really notice any difference in my sales after that. But 100 sales is 100 sales. It's still a win and an achievement, and I was super happy to achieve that. All in all, if we subtract my losses from the first 2 months, I made about $220 in my first 3 months selling digital products on Etsy. Now, I'll admit it's not a lot. I mean, it's not the thousands of dollars in revenue that many Etsy YouTube videos promise. And I'm sure that other new Etsy sellers have made much more than I have and have even maybe hit $1,000 on their first month. Now, am I jealous of them? Sure, a little bit, yeah. But I also kind of understand why this has been the case for me. Like I said, the niche I chose has an okayish demand, meaning that there is a cap to how much I can actually sell in a month. Say, for example, my template gets only 10 searches in a month. So that means that even if all 10 of those people searching for my product buy my template, that means I only get 10 sales for that month, right? So yeah, I'm gonna give myself grace for this factor, and overall, I'm seeing this whole 3-month journey as a win. When I started this whole thing, I made the decision to make this work no matter what. And I understand that this type of business takes a lot of unpaid work upfront. I'm not even gonna compute my hourly rate for this, but that's just the way it is. And so far, I'm actually having a lot of fun being in control of my hours and creating what I want to create. So my goal is to actually maybe one day make this my main hustle. When I started, I kept my expectations low. I even thought that I would hit the 200 profit mark after a whole year. But now that I see what's possible, I'm determined to grow this shop even more. Ideally, I'd love to be making $10,000 profit per month on this shop, semi-passively. But how long will it take me to get there? We will see. If you're a new Etsy seller like me or just curious about opening your own shop, I'd love for you to come along on this journey. This video was a bit of an intro to my experience, but in future videos, I'll be sharing all the tips, lessons, and strategies I picked up along the way that can help you grow your own Etsy business as well. So if you're interested in learning together, please like this video, subscribe, and let's see what we can build side by side. Thanks so much for watching, and let's make something amazing happen. Till next time!